Boom, okay, that was stupid. Hey, I'm back in Baguio. Welcome to the news show. Let's start.
TryHard News.
So, for Monday, Haydn Diaz actually wins the Philippines' first Olympic medal in roughly 20 years. She won the silver medal for women's 53-kilogram division in weightlifting. This brings to light what us Filipinos are really capable of doing. And it tells us we really do need to pay attention to our sports programs so great athletes like Haydn are able to succeed. Next story on a bit of good news, the Department of Science and Technology actually created a pitcher that filters out microorganisms from tap water and deep well water. This water now becomes safe and potable. The filters themselves are made out of red clay and it really seems that they're cheap to make. So this is really good news for disaster-stricken areas that do not have access to clean, safe drinking water. For the next news, SM Cinema will indeed play Final Fantasy XV Kingsglaive in the Philippines. Based on these screenshots over here, everything looks nice and shiny and looks very promising. Also, Sean Bean is in the movie, so let's hope he doesn't die. Probably will. Let's see. Moving on to Tuesday, in case you are into US politics, Hillary Clinton leads over Donald Trump in the polls. If you ask me whether this is good or bad, actually both candidates are equally terrible, so it's just, we'll see. It's a pretty much damned if you do, damned if you don't situation for America, so we'll see how it goes. In the next news, it has been some days since Pokemon Go became available for the Philippines and already there are a lot of cheaters. The most prominent method of cheating would be the GPS spoofing. For those of you who don't know, GPS spoofing is where you manipulate your GPS to make your character appear as if it were in a different place. This can be done over a computer, so it's pretty much taking the Go out of Pokemon Go, sitting at your computer and moving your character to places where there are maybe Pokemon stops, gyms, and other Pokemon available. That's why we get cases of trainers that have taken control of gyms who have CP way higher than possible in the short span that Pokemon Go was available here. However, it's not like Niantic has been ignoring the issue. Actually, right now, if you are caught cheating in Pokemon Go, you may actually suffer a soft ban. Things in the ban include being unable to fight in gym battles, being unable to collect goodies from Pokestops, and being unable to catch Pokemon. Whenever you would attempt to throw the Pokeball, the Pokemon would just run away. My take on this is, I don't think Niantic is strict enough. Really, the presence of these cheaters ruined the game for everybody, and I know how it is in the Philippines, being a third world country. People can't afford the latest smartphones. Actually, it's the same with me. If you can see over here, this is the current phone that I'm working with. Currently, I'm not playing Pokemon Go, but I refuse to ruin the game for other people by cheating using these GPS spoofers. So people, let's not get greedy and ruin other people's game experience just because we're unable to play, or maybe just because we want to be the very strongest in the game. It simply ruins the community of Pokemon Go, which seems to have grown into something quite close-knit. For some cool news, No Man's Sky, the video game, has actually been released for the PS4 on August 9. PC version, unfortunately, will be released on August 13 here in the Philippines. No Man's Sky boasts infinite galaxies where the planets are randomly generated based on some functions in the game. Think of when you play Crypt of the Necrodancer and the level is different every time you play it. The game randomizes a different level each time based on numerous factors. The same thing goes with No Man's Sky, where it will randomize a planet for every location you visit. These planets are completely unique, and if you get to a planet first, you may have the privilege of naming it. So in this game, the galaxies are infinite and it is quite exploration focused. But it is not without its fair share of combat. You will be seeing a good amount of space dogfights, and maybe if you get on the ground on a planet, you will be brought into a first-person type of fighting game should you encounter hostile enemies. And the most shocking thing about this Infinite Universe game is the file is actually only 10 gigabytes worth. So this Infinite Universe game is all packed into 10 gigabytes, which is pretty much amazing. Similar open exploration games like World of Warcraft, which is just limited to roughly one planet, or two planets maybe, has a whopping size of 30 gigabytes worth of game. So I'm very interested to see how this plays out. Next, in the Wednesday story, remember Mayor Espinosa, the guy who surrendered to Bato fearing Duterte's shoot to kill order? Well, police enter his home to find 88 million pesos worth of Shabu and bomb making materials. As we can remember, Mayor Espinosa said he never participated in drug-related activities. It was all his son Kerwin, and he said that he never benefited from the money earned by drugs. And what I have to say is bullshit. Bullshit you didn't know about anything. Bullshit you didn't participate. Bullshit you weren't profiting from that shit. This guy was able to live a life of luxury from ruining the lives of his fellow men, and I seriously hope he is held accountable for his actions. Next in lighter news, Michael Phelps changes his game face into an incredible death stare during the preparation for his 200-meter butterfly semi-final in the Olympics. As you can see, the internet has just swallowed it up and starts spitting Photoshop edits like this, and this, and I can't wait to see more. Lastly, for a bit of international news, in America, a Muslim flight attendant decides to sue her airline ExpressJet for wrongfully suspending her for refusing to serve alcohol to the passengers. She said that ExpressJet did not provide her with reasonable religious accommodation. My opinion is, when you think about it, you were hired to do a job, and part of that job is to serve alcohol. If you decided not to do the job, then I believe the airline has the right to suspend you for simply not completing the work you were given. For example, let's say if I were a vegan and I was hired as a butcher, and obviously I don't like butchering shit, I shouldn't be allowed to just say, oh, well, I'm a vegan, so I don't want to participate in this butchering, so I'd like to just take my lump of cash and do no work, thank you. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. If you're hired to do a job, you better damn well make sure you do it despite any religious backgrounds. Obviously, as a flight attendant, you'll be serving alcohol to the passengers. You'll be serving food to the passengers. And if you were really serious about getting religious accommodation, then you shouldn't pick a job that will violate the views of your religion. But that's where I'm gonna end this show. Thank you for being with me for my third episode of the news. As always, I'd appreciate a like and a comment below. Tell me what news stories you'd like me to cover before I start shooting the next episode, and I might just include it. So as always, click here for my other videos and subscribe. See ya in 3 days.